it's again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Think Tank. So, Stephan Sterns, oh my word, lordy. Yeah, he's a piece of work. His mom found a torso toy. His dad said he's been stealing their money, and his mom even is saying, "What a monster." I don't know if it's still being said by her, but it was sure being said the night that Maddi was found. So there was a document dump, 22 different documents. We'll go through some other ones. It's either repetitious or they're just not anything that we would understand. A lot of them are like different codes and numbers and just data, right? So with that said, probably start here. So I'm going to start with the incident reports. And after that, we'll get into a couple more documents that are related to the different searches. All right, so who have we got here? We have Officer Hart. His camera was in use, and the place that they're mentioning here is the dad's storage locker located here. So it'll all start to make a little bit of sense as we go through this as to what everybody was doing. There's a lot of people looking for Maddi. Let's put it that way. All right. So on February 28th, 2024 at approximately 9:21, so that is 7:21 p.m., I responded to the area of 1001 Executive Ave. Now, this is where Life Storage is located, and this is Chris's. So in response to an assist other agency call, the complainant, Corporal Evan Avilia of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, contacted the Northport Police Department in reference to a case they are currently investigating. Sergeant Fisher spoke to Corporal Evan Avilia. Corporal Avila. I don't know. I'm massacring it, I am sure. Okay, so he relayed that there was a reason to believe suspect Stephan Sterns, who they currently had in custody, was at this location sometime earlier today. There was reason to believe that the suspect had possibly left the body of the deceased victim at this location based off of investigative information that they currently had. So somebody told them that there was a possibility that Maddi was going to be in this storage room. So Orange County deputies advised that the suspect was currently under arrest for SA and CP involving the victim. It was relayed that the victim was last seen in an abnormal state, not moving for several hours in the front seat of a vehicle. So they're saying that he had her in there for quite several hours in the front seat there. Oh, man. Oh, Lordy. So this was at an apartment complex in their jurisdiction. The believed victim in this case was reported as a missing child. So, of course, they're talking about Maddi. Once on the scene, Commander Brownie Sergeant Fisher and I checked the area, searching to see if we could locate anything suspicious in nature. Sergeant Fisher managed to get a hold of a key holder for this location, Tamiko Ellen, who was able to identify the locker storage unit that was possibly utilized by the suspect. Locker number is B124. Tamiko allowed for Sergeant Fisher and I to redacted for the business. It appears that at that time, redacted. Oh my. So the Sarasota search and rescue team eventually was requested to respond to the location to check the area with their cadaver dogs. They were seriously looking everywhere. They were going into opened lockers, storage units. They were, at one point, they had 3 of these dogs out there. So they also had Sergeant Johnson, who was checking the rooftops of the buildings within a UAV drone. I then remained on the scene and was informed that detective of Northport Police Department would be responding out to this location to conduct further investigations for this incident. Eventually, Northport Police Department detectives, along with detectives from Kissimmee Police Department, responded to the scene. I completed a crime scene log for this incident. This concluded my involvement with this incident. Oh, Lordy, you guys. Welcome. Yeah, you're right. Mom talks to him saying he shouldn't go down alone. Basically, if it was my son, it's disown. Worst of the worst, disgusting. Well said, friend. Well said. Okay. I'm going to go back in here for a second. So, Officer Howe. Search warrant for the same area. Crime scene investigation, premise, search warrant, agency assist. So this is 3 pages. On Thursday, February 29th, 2024, at approximately 3:39 a.m., I was contacted on my department-issued cellular phone by telecommunications to contact Detective Sergeant Fisher. Detective Sergeant Fisher advised that the crime scene unit was requested to respond to 1001 Executive Avenue, Unit B124, in reference to a premises search warrant for an agency assist. I immediately contacted Crime Scene Tech Walker. Upon our arrival at approximately 4:43 a.m., we met with Captain Harvey, Commander Myers, Detective Sergeant Fisher, and Strejic, and Detectives Sigich, ZZ, Robles, Chippendale, Witkowski, and Fegan. Detective Sergeant Fisher advised that the Northport Police Department was registered to assist at the Kissimmee Police Department at the Orange County Sheriff's Office with a missing persons case they are investigating. Detective Sergeant Fisher advised that a premise search warrant was assigned by Judge Krug. He requested that the exterior door of the storage unit be processed prior to the storage unit being opened. The evidence sought in the search warrant includes the victim and or clothing that she was wearing, photographs of the scene or any other evidence, implements or devices related to subject matter of this warrant that could be used in violation of the laws of the state of Florida. I was wondering how they worded that, because I'm just going to move this a little bit. You'll see why I'm questioning what was being said there coming up here, but it's interesting to say the least. Okay, so Detective Sergeant Fisher advised that a premise search warrant was signed by Judge Krug, and he requested that the exterior door of the storage unit be processed prior to the storage unit being opened. The evidence sought in the search warrant includes the victim, the clothing that she was wearing, photographs of the scene, and any other evidence, implements, or devices. The scene I responded to was in a gated storage facility located on the south side of Executive Ave, just west of North Toledo Blade Boulevard in a commercial business district. Reporting officer, of course, Casey L. Howe. The weather during the search warrant was mostly cloudy and approximately 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Overall photographs were taken to document the location and condition of the scene as I found it. A visual examination of the scene revealed that Unit B-124 was secured with a locked overhead door. The storage unit lock, rope, cord, and metal handle were swabbed for potential biological evidence utilizing one sterile cotton-tipped applicator moistened with sterile water for each area. Utilizing sterile latent fingerprint brushes and sterile black fingerprint powder, the exterior of the overhead door was processed for latent fingerprints evidence with assistance from the crime scene technician Walker with negative results. So no DNA on there. Northport Fire Rescue personnel were contacted to assist with the removal of the lock from the storage unit. Upon opening the storage unit, multiple boxes and storage containers were observed. Additional photographs were taken to document the condition of the storage unit as I found it. Nothing of evidentiary value was located. That's very interesting. Multiple detectives conducted a search of the storage unit. Yellow-colored numerical evidence markers were placed to indicate items of evidentiary value as follows. Marker 1 indicates 1 cut storage unit lock, 1 swab of lock of storage unit, 1 swab of the rope cord and handle of the storage unit, and 1 swab of metal pull handle of the storage unit. The search warrant concluded on Thursday, February 29th, 2024 at approximately 5:36 a.m. A copy of the search warrant and handwritten Northport Police Department property receipt were left on scene. All collected items were packaged and submitted into evidence. The items will be held in evidence pending future requests for analysis. The 69 digital photographs were uploaded to the secure server for viewing and storage. All digital photographs were also copied to a DVD-R and submitted into evidence. 69 digital photographs. Guys. There's a lot. As you can see, there is a lot. I'm trying to get all of these supplementals out. There's a couple I'll read to you that I won't. It's got some personal information on there, and I really do not want to be doxing anybody. So, okay, so Officer Fisher. So narrative. On February 28th, 2024, while on marked uniform duty, I received a phone call from the Northport Police Department Dispatch Center asking me to contact Corporal Evan Avila from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I made phone contact with Corporal Avila, who relayed information regarding a case they were currently involved in with the Kissimmee Police Department. He also relayed that they had a missing juvenile by the name of Redacted. So that's going to be Madeline, right? He stated that they had reason to believe something more nefarious happened to Maddi. They were requesting that we check storage unit complex at 1001 Executive Ave. A cursory search of the property revealed nothing, and at that point, the property was secured pending further investigation. After some explanation, I tracked down a manager for the property, Tamiko Ellen, and requested she respond to the scene. Once on the scene, Ellen advised that the unit we were looking for was B124. Due to the information obtained by Corporal Avila, I requested the Criminal Investigation Division respond to take over the scene. Once detectives were on the scene, I remained as the scene supervisor, providing scene security until the scene was released. This ended my involvement. Just wow. Okay, so let's see here. Officer Chippendale. One page. On February 28th, 2024, I was requested to respond to 1001 Executive Avenue in reference to an agency assist with trying to locate a missing juvenile from the area of Kissimmee, Florida. Upon my arrival, I was briefed on the situation, which turned out to be a possible homicide victim, and she is probably in the storage unit B124. So somehow they got some intel that was telling them that there's a possibility that Maddi was in Stephan Sterns' dad's storage locker. So Kissimmee detectives explained that the juvenile Maddi was supposed to be dropped off at her school by Redacted Stephan Sterns. I was informed that Maddi never made it to school, and after several days of searching for her up in Kissimmee area, she had not been located. And Stephan Sterns was arrested for, bad stuff. CP and SA for what was found on his cell phone. Further investigation revealed Stephan may have come to Northport, where his parents live, and entered into his father's storage facility on February 28th, 2024. It was believed that Stephan may have been in his father's storage unit, and the Kissimmee detectives explained to us that someone used the father's code. Now, this is going to change in the future as far as this code goes. So there's that. So to get into the father saying that he lost a key, detectives explained to us that someone used the father's code to get in, and that the father saying that he lost a key to the unit months ago and he cannot find it. Stephan is believed to have been at the storage unit for less than 10 minutes before he headed back to I-75. At this time, I arrived. Kissimmee detectives believed that redacted Maddi may be deceased and that her body might be located in that unit. Oh, Lordy, you guys. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. Oh, Lordy. I assisted in searching empty storage units on the property with Sergeant Strejic and Commander Myers. Nothing was found. Now, this is the 28th, right? Yeah, 28th of February. Nothing was found. I then assisted with reviewing Detective Sigich search warrant for storage number B124. The search warrant was signed and the storage container was searched with negative results in locating Maddi. Once this was accomplished, the scene was released and I cleared the area. Nothing further. So they are really interested in this storage unit. Unreal. Okay, so we've got Detective Walker. You know, every time we get these documents, you're almost afraid to read them because you know that there's horror in there. So this is a complete trigger warning. There's nothing extremely graphic in these documents. But with that said, we know what happened to Madeline Soto. So, you know, this stuff all, when it comes to kids, will touch a nerve. Look what's happening in the UK right now. 3 young girls, right? And, oh, Lordy, that place has gone wild. So the crime scene investigation premise search warrant agency assist. On Thursday, February 29th, 2024, at approximately 3:42 a.m., I was contacted by crime scene technician Howe on my department issued cell phone. Crime scene technician Howe advised that the crime scene unit was requested to respond to Executive Avenue, B124. Detective Sergeant Fisher, this gives us the same people that they went over in the last couple supplements. So let's see here. Detective Sergeant Fisher advised that a premise search warrant was signed Jasmine by Judge Krug, requesting that the exterior door of the storage unit be processed prior to the storage unit being opened. There you go. Let's put that there for you. The evidence sought in the search warrant includes the victim and or clothing that she was wearing, photographs of the scene, or any other evidence, implements, or devices relating to the subject matter of this warrant that could be used in violation of the laws of the state of Florida. The scene I responded to is a gated storage facility located on the south side of Executive Avenue, Toledo Blade Boulevard. All photographs were taken by crime scene technician Howe. Please see her report for further information. Visual examination of the scene revealed that unit B124 was secured and locked with the overhead door. Crime scene technician Howe swabbed the exterior of the overhead door for possible biological evidence. Please see her report for further details. Utilizing sterile latent fingerprint brushes and sterile black fingerprint fingerprint power, I assisted crime scene technician Howe with processing the exterior of the overhead door for latent fingerprint evidence with negative results. So no fingerprints. Northport Fire Rescue personnel were summoned to assist with removing the lock from the storage unit. Upon opening the storage unit, multiple boxes and storage containers were observed. Nothing of evidentiary value was located. The search warrant concluded on Thursday, February 29th, 2024, at approximately 5:36 hours. Elizabeth M. Walker. Oh my word. So this here is Officer Fegan. This one's 4. I think what I'm going to do is wait on him. Look at Myers. Again, this is the locker address. On Wednesday, February 28th, I'll bump this up again, at approximately 7:36 p.m., Sergeant Alexander Fisher of the Northport Police Department NPPD called me and explained that investigators from Orange County Sheriff's Office, OCSO, were requesting assistance with a missing persons investigation because a vehicle connected to their subject entered the city of Northport that morning at approximately 6:29 a.m. as redacted. Some of these are I'm not sure what's under there. In addition, Sergeant Fisher advised that the subject vehicle left the city at approximately 7:46 a.m. and investigators provided information that the subject's father, Christopher Sterns, was paying for a rental storage facility at Life Storage. The discussion and requests were for NPPD to possibly check the storage facility for the missing person. In the meantime, I was in contact with our investigative bureau commander, Captain Paul Harvey, who was also monitoring the situation and providing updates to the department command staff. After a series of discussions, we both decided to respond to the scene. I self-dispatched at 21:22, 9:22, arriving at approximately 9:31. Have I got that? Meeting with Sergeant Fisher and Officer Hart and learning that we were waiting for storage area manager Tamiko Allen to arrive so we could potentially redact and identify the storage unit Sterns was renting. At 10:56, why am I having problems here? 22:56 hours, Mr. Allen printed a unit activity summary for storage unit B124, which was accessed February 28th at 9:08 in the morning and then exited at 9:16 in the morning. Depending on the gate, the renter would have had to enter their gate access code. Again, this changes. Sergeant Fisher also attempted to redact, but also learned that it had been non-working for about 1 week. What is under there? Which, even though Sergeant Fisher remedied, did not reveal redacted of who accessed the storage unit. Okay. I'm not understanding. I can't figure out what's under those two. Did not reveal. Is it cameras or something? Detective Jason Sigich was requested to respond to Northport PD and start a search warrant affidavit for the storage unit, noting that investigators from other agencies would provide additional probable cause and act as co-affiants. In addition, Detective, is it Zahin, Robles, Jared Fegan, along with members of the department's special enforcement team, were sent to the Sterns residence. Okay. At 22:55 hours, cadaver dogs were to the scene. At 11:49 hours, members of local search and rescue organized and arrived at the scene, deployed more than one dog, and walked the area between two rows of storage units. That included B124. The handlers noted some of the dogs had noticeable change of behavior near B124, but there was no positive alert or indication that the storage unit, we asked them to check the Stearns residence, which they did. So I don't know why the dogs would be reacting. Did he have, I don't know, the scent from his vehicle? I don't know. It's interesting, though. On February 29th, 2024, at approximately 1:58 a.m., OCSO detective arrived on the scene. Then at approximately 2:24 a.m., Kissimmee Police Department, KPD, Detective Mark Morris also arrived, but was eventually redirected to the main police department to collaborate with Detective Sigich. Finally, at approximately 3:44 a.m., Detective Sigich advised that the search warrant had been signed by the Honorable Judge Krug. Crime scene technician Elizabeth Walker and Casey Howe arrived at approximately 4:43 a.m. and began processing storage unit B124, which eventually required Northport Fire and Rescue to open, cutting the lock. Once the lock was removed and the unit was open, the missing person in question was not located inside, nor were there any signs of struggle or obvious signs of criminal activity. We ultimately secured the storage unit with a new padlock from the adjoining vacant unit. Sergeant Fisher kept the keys for safekeeping until the business reopened. On February 29th, 2024, at 5:23 p.m., Sergeant Fisher returned to Life Storage and confirmed the gate access times were accurate. So we do not know who accessed the storage facility with Chris Stern's access code in the morning of February 28th. More on that code coming up. Jeez. I mean, they were looking everywhere for her. Okay, so Officer Reed. On February 29th, 2024, at approximately 4:38 a.m., I, Officer Reed, arrived on scene at 1001 Executive Avenue in reference to an investigation. I arrived on the scene and relieved Officer Hart on the crime scene log. I took over the crime scene log, and while on scene, I logged FF F. Shapiro. Okay, Shivo, Davis, and Tackman on scene at 5:10 a.m. Northport Fire and Rescue cleared the scene at 5:22 a.m. Crime scene was broken down at 5:45 a.m. I marked the remaining personnel on scene out of the crime scene by 5:45 a.m. Some of these names, you just wish everybody was Smith. Lordy, lordy. So we just got a couple more. And we've got, okay, Officer Strejic. Okay, so on February 28th, 2024 at 8:28 p.m., I received a phone call from Sergeant A. Fisher, 310, who advised me that he was on scene at Life Storage, located at 1001 Executive Ave in Northport, Sarasota County, Florida, in reference to an investigation being conducted by the Kissimmee Police Department and Orange County Sheriff's Office surrounding missing juvenile, oh lordy, Maddi Soto. I was advised that the prime person of interest connected to her disappearance, there you go, guys, Stephan Sterns, had been in the Northport area and had family that resided in Northport. I was further advised that Stephan's father, Christopher Sterns, was renting a storage unit at Life Storage, and NPPD was requested to assist the joint investigation being conducted in the Orlando area. Northport, isn't that where the Laundries live? Brian Laundrie's parents in Northport? After being briefed by Sergeant Fisher, I responded to Life Storage. Sergeant Fisher had been in constant contact with the investigators from Orange County and relayed that the vehicle Stephan had been driving had been observed in the Northport area in the early morning hours of February 28th, and it was believed that he had possibly gone to Life Storage where Christopher had a storage unit. Attempts to speak with Life Storage business contact were made. However, no phone contact was made. So that means that Strejic had not made contact, and we do know other people were able to get her in, and in the guys, they were able to get her to come down and okay this and show them where exactly this locker was. So attempts to speak, let's see, responded to the manager's home, and Sergeant Fisher requested, there we are, that Sergeant respond to Life Storage to redacted and check entry records. There we go. And I know that I think they needed her to show them where it was. Not so much the okay because they had a warrant, but I do believe that, I mean, it's a big spot. It's not like my little area that's got like 20. Okay, so it was later discovered that redacted for Life Storage redacted during the time frame in which it was believed that Stephan possibly was there. I don't know what these redactions are again. I was also informed that vacant storage units were tagged and marked and were unlocked and able to be opened. With that information, I physically walked the entire facility and opened up every exterior vacant storage unit. Yes. Nothing was located in any of the units, nor did I discover an empty unit that was secured with the exception of one unit, and that was confirmed rented by management. During the course of my involvement, I had Sarasota Search and Rescue respond with cadaver dogs. 3 dogs walked the area around B B124. They got B24, but it's B124. The unit Christopher rented, and although they displayed a change in behavior, none of them gave any positive alerts to the presence of any deceased bodies. I also assisted in the review of search warrant for B124, and once it was approved and signed, I requested crime scene respond. I also had NPFD respond to assist with cutting the lock off of the storage unit. Once the storage unit's exterior was processed, the lock was cut and the unit was opened up. I stood by while detectives from Kissimmee Police Department and Orange County Sheriff's Office conducted the search of the storage unit. There was nothing, lordy, there was nothing of evidentiary value located in the storage unit. No further action was taken. So there's a lot of people in and out and working on this. I mean, look at how many were at the crime scene where Maddi was found, and how many were searching for her, and the lengths that they went. Okay, so we've got Officer Waters, very brief, on Thursday, February 29th at 5:12 a.m. I dispatched myself to the above address to relieve the previous shift's patrol units. Upon my arrival, I assisted in completing a crime scene log. This concludes my involvement in this matter. I went through all these documents probably 2 or 3 times before we did this stream here. My tongue is twisted. Okay, so let's see here. We've got the property list. Where do we want to start here? I think. Hold on here. Pretty sure we looked at Chippendale. Okay, so the property list. So this is, again, I was saying there's a lot of just documents that are more meaningful to the people that are taking care of these documents, because they've got all their property numbers. They do tell us that it's all evidence. And on this one, they're giving us an idea of what they have. So let's see here. This is from the search. The last, let's see here, July 12th, 2024 is when this list was made. So right in that time. This is interview of Christopher Sterns on April 11th. The audio was submitted into evidence, miscellaneous papers and receipts, a cane, oh, a keychain, photo of a young female, a bracelet in a box, teal and yellow with Stephan beads. So what, did Maddi make this for him? Is this 2 driver's licenses for Stephan Sterns? Is that normal? Do you guys keep your old licenses? Or are you like Canada where you have to turn it in? 1 scan disk Cruiser Glide H gigabyte. No cap. 1 Data Stick Pro thumb drive 64 gigabyte. 1 WD SATA 64 megabyte cache. A power cord. 1 Cyber Power PC tower. Model C. 28 times digital images of Stephan's room. 1 swab from the metal pull handle of the storage unit, and 1 swab of rope cord and handle of the storage unit. 1 swab of lock of storage unit, 1 cut unit lock, marker 1, and 1 DVD-R containing search warrant photos, 69. And then, yeah, this would be all the property numbers. We've got these the same paperwork up here. So the property receipts. So February 2024, 5:30 a.m. And this is again at the lockers. 1 cut. 10, I don't know what this says here. Marker 1, unit 1 swab of the metal pull handle on the storage unit. And again, the 1 swab of rope cord and handle of the storage unit. So this is basically their chain of custody that they're showing us. 1 swab of lock of the storage unit. And this here is the log that they were creating as the officers and everybody else was coming in and leaving. Looks like they even have the 3 dogs, 4 dogs. And this is basically their times, what they were there to do, their agency, their names, and it looks like ID numbers. And it'll be the same all the way down. Crime scene entry, again, all their times in, time out. Time in, time out. And time in. And I don't know about time out. There's a lot here, guys. There's a lot. Okay, so public records request, exemptions, active criminal investigation, intelligence information, nada. Child crimes, nada. Marcy's law, nada. Surveillance techniques, procedures, and personnel, nada. Victims of domestic and aggravated harassment, and Aggie Betty. I don't know. Oh, Lordy. Censorship at its finest. So when you're doing your FOIA, that are things that you absolutely will not get. Okay, what do we got here? Again, State of Florida against Stephan Michael Sterns. So this is, again, a breakdown of documents. And I do believe the name of the person that created the documents. Okay, Fitbit account. Search warrant for Fitbit. Affidavits, the report, supplemental report. Search warrant for a Fitbit. That's interesting. Search warrant digital content belonging to Sterns. Search warrant digital content belonging to Sterns. Apple account. Apple account associated with Jennifer Soto and Madeline Soto. Have to get a court order. I wonder if that was for Apple. And then they've got the request to seal. Now this looks like it's all the documents we just went over. Forensic biology lab report. Crime line. So you guys, if you're not 100% up, I've got a fair-sized playlist for this case. The amount of documents that have come out. I've got another 900 pages of documents in my files that I have not completed yet. Mobile tracking device application or authorization. Ooh, yes, tracking devices, really. Search warrant for a black iPhone. Search warrant for a black iPhone. Search warrant for Discord. Search warrant for Discord. Central Florida Expressway transaction detail. Incident reports. Surveillance. 7-Eleven. Holiday Inn Club vacations. Surveillance. Yeah, they were surveilling his mom's house. Like, whoa. How creepy is that when you find out that there were people literally watching you and you didn't know it? Previous discovery provides including pages 1 through 1008. Please verify receipt of all these pages and notify our office if any missing pages or duplicate numbers of discovery. Wowza. Hey, Dingo. 46 sausages. Welcome. What an awesome name. Alrighty, so we've got some documents here that I can't show. So what I decided I'm going to do is I will go through them, but I'll read them instead of show them. They'll have some personal information on them and things that I don't want to be the one to dox anybody. That's for damn sure. So let's see here. There's just a couple more. Okay, so Officer Wachowski, at approximately 22:08 hours, I was requested to respond to Life Storage. In support of this investigation, at approximately 22:35 hours, I arrive at the crime scene and contacted the others on the scene, who essentially advised me we are assisting other agencies with a possible homicide and SA investigation pertaining to a missing juvenile identified as redacted, Maddi, of course, who was last seen in Kissimmee, Florida. Specifically, the Kissimmee detectives have established probable cause that the missing juvenile's remains may have been placed within Unit B-124 by redacted, identified as Stephan Sterns. I provided security for the Sarasota search and rescue teams while they examined the storage center and checked the public swale on, now this at the parents' home. During that check of the storage center, the handler advised a change of behavior by the dogs in the approximate area of units B-124, which the handler advised denoted an area of interest. The SSR team did not advise any alerts from the parents' house. Detective Fagan and I conducted a neighborhood canvass surrounding the home of Stephan's biological parents, during which the following houses were located. It is unknown if redacted anything of value. Additional follow-up will be needed if deemed necessary by primary investigative agencies. An open home under construction in the vicinity of the parents' home and its adjacent dump trailer were checked. And then it gives all the different addresses that they went to and redacted. And we've got, let's see, they stopped at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different locations, but nothing pertinent was discovered. I assisted with executing a search warrant on a storage unit located at 1001 Executive Avenue, Unit B-124. The NPPD crime scene technicians processed the exterior of the unit. After processing the exterior, the Northport Fire Department responded and cut the circular lock from the unit, granting us access. During the search of the unit, I did not locate anything of evidentiary value. More specifically, the unit appeared to have been very well maintained and was not in a state of disarray, nor appeared to have been recently disturbed. Inside were multiple boxes with miscellaneous items, none of which were pertinent to this investigation. Upon completing the search, I departed without incident. March 1st, 2024, I returned to the life storage facility and contacted Dennis Casey, assistant store manager, regarding this investigation. Dennis provided the following verbal information and records pertinent to the investigation. Dennis explained the computer printout previously provided regarding Christopher Sterns' storage unit and facility access. Specifically, he disclosed that the computer system periodically and randomly conducts checks of the assigned users in order to validate their account status. Dennis provided a computer printout of Christopher's account activity on January 1st, 2024 to present, which showed Christopher's access code was used twice. Once is January 31st, 2024 at 8:55 a.m. Keypad granted. And again, on the same date at 9:01 a.m. 2, exit keypad granted, exit. The only other time Christopher's access code was utilized was on February 16th, 2024 at 6:11. 1 entry keypad granted entry. And again on the same date at 6:13. Christopher's access code was not used as previously thought. That's why I was saying, although they're saying this at the time, it was going to change. So they were somehow with I don't know if it was a glitch or if it was them checking their own facility out. It was learned that nobody used that code to get into that locker. So Dennis also provided a list for all users who had accessed the storage unit on March 28th, 2024, none of which appeared to be relevant to the investigation. Detective St. Jean, and I went to the parents' place. Yeah, I'm not French. Can you tell? I'm not great with the accents. I'm not great with the last names of some of these people. All right. So let's see here. What are you guys up to? Is it? Yeah. Hello, hello. Yeah. Yeah, it's a toy. A torso toy. Yeah, there is some repetition with these documents, but I mean, if nothing else, it is backup supporting what the others are saying they saw. Okay, so Christopher stated on February 28th, 2024 at approximately 3:15 a.m., he met Stephan at their hotel in Kissimmee. After his phone was seized by law enforcement, he opined Stephan was extremely exhausted and seemed to have a heavy weight, metaphorically pressing on him, and seemed to have fabricated an explanation regarding the factory reset, lordy, of his seized cellular phone after checking into the hotel. Christopher advised they all went to sleep in their respective rooms between 9 and 9:45 a.m. Redacted contacted him and asked if he knew where Stephan went, as he had left their hotel shortly before. He recalled Stephan returned to the hotel sometime between 11:15 and 11:30. Christopher later learned his son traveled to Northport, but claimed he had no idea. During the interview, Christopher received a phone call from another law enforcement agencies, wherein they alerted him that Madeline's body had been recovered. After receiving the call, Christopher seemed solemn, upset, and she had indeed been deleted. Jesus. Prior to departing the residence, Christopher explained his son had left a gaming computer at their residence and he had placed it in the garage after he was arrested, as he no longer wanted it in his home and believed it was of evidentiary value to law enforcement. He recalled that Stephan had accessed the computer within the past week, possibly after Maddi went missing. Oh my goodness. Deborah denied Stephan had ever returned to their home on that Wednesday. She explained how they viewed him as a monster and inquired why the media and public blamed her and Christopher for their son's heinous deeds. She explained she was calling the victim's name, as was reported, hoping that her son had brought her back to Northport. And this was after she learned that Stephan had allegedly returned. When she learned that Maddi had been recovered, Deborah began sobbing and remained essentially speechless. She accused Redacted, as knowing Redacted was R-worded for years. Before she was subsequently deleted. So that's pretty interesting that she is saying this at this point. I contacted my supervision regarding Stephan's computer, who concurred to take the device as evidence in order to later transfer to the Kissimmee Police Department. I'm not sure why that was still there. It shouldn't have been. So we've got one more. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. Let's see here. Okay, so this is Officer Fegan. Our arrival, we observed a female later identified as Deborah Sterns outside her residence and calling out for a redacted. 2 vehicles were, that's when she allegedly was calling out for Maddi, hoping that she was somewhere in the trees around that area. 2 vehicles were present at the residence, a tan in-color Lincoln, which was occupied forward facing in the driveway. This vehicle is registered to the homeowner, Christopher Sterns. The second vehicle was parked in the swale in front of the residence. This vehicle was facing east and also unoccupied and is described as a dark gray brown colored Honda. This vehicle is registered to Stephan Sterns. Both vehicles were visually inspected and nothing overly suspicious was observed. Contact was eventually made with Deborah, who was very emotional during our initial interaction. Initially, Deborah only appeared to be upset by a torso she found in her son Stephan's room. Deborah would elaborate on the torso and described it as an X doll. She was later determined to be a rubber plastic toy found by Deborah when she was cleaning the room where Stephan had been staying. Jesus. Deborah advised that Stephan was not here, but she believed he had returned to the property sometime last night. Deborah did permit entry into her residence to conduct a security sweep of the home. Nothing of evidentiary value was observed, and the room where Stephan resided was photographed to accurately depict its appearance. 28 digital images were later uploaded to evidence.com. Deborah would later disclose that she and her husband, Christopher, are aware of the allegations against their son, Stephan, and that Christopher is currently being interviewed by the agency investigating allegations. Deborah expressed her disgust in the crimes her son is alleged to have committed and is hoping that Maddi is found alive. Deborah opined that these allegations worried her to the point that when she found that toy, she initially believed it to be real. And that's what led her to exit her residence and call out for Maddi. After clearing this location, I responded to the storage facility where I was then asked to check a model home. As this is a property that Stephan may have frequented due to Christopher's relationship with the builder, Bright Homes. This residence was secure and nothing of evidentiary value was located. He then escorted a canine rescue team over to the parents' home. And they are saying that basically that was done and they were done with the canvas in that area. So those dogs were busy. I was going to, they had to go to that hotel when they had to get out of that townhouse so the cops could go in there and search it and take it over. Did I miss you, friend? It's more and more and more is coming out, slow and steady. Those, like I said, I've still got about half of those other 900 documents to go through. And most of it is stuff that we're aware of at this point. And what we're not showing basically is just graphic, disgusting stuff that no one wants to hear about anyways. No, that sounds good, Dingo. Just about winding down. So there's another document in there talking about Stephan taking cash from his parents. And let's see here. So yeah, it sounds like they were checking the house. They checked the parents' house. They checked, I think it was 2 different lockers. One was Stephan's at one point. These documents are just basically on his dad's. Yeah, Deborah advised me she had discovered Stephan had also been stealing cash from her and Christopher. She was aware of the allegations of her son, and she felt great disgust of her son's actions. Yeah, when I'm doing the documents, I cannot see the chat, friend. So, yeah, if I don't respond right away, that is why. Let me see here. Any other questions? Yeah, his mother must be so, so proud. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's it for the documents. We've basically covered everything but the stuff that was redacted or that was repetitious. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. I appreciate you guys. Documents, there's a lot of information in them, but they're very, very dry. It's hard to make them interesting in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, there's lots of information coming out still. I do believe we're expecting like another 600 pages. I don't know if they're going to come out all at once or if this is part of that and they're just coming out bits at a time. But yeah, lots to learn still. This guy, he's facing the DP as he should. In my personal opinion, I don't know if it's going to change, but I do believe anybody that is convicted on these type of charges are going to be DP eligible in the state of Florida. So whether or not they'll eventually turn that around, I'm not sure. They seem to, laws are changed all the time. And that's one, as far as DP, that you see happen in a lot of states where they will stop it or they will bring it back or what have you. So, if all of the sick shite that they have been finding on his electronics, if that isn't enough, leaving her out in the middle of nowhere behind some trees, that will give him the DP. And I don't know, here in Canada, it's not an option for us. I wish it was. I do. There's got to be a way to deter people from doing this kind of stuff. I mean, it's absolutely freaking disgusting. I think there was, 1,700 images? Something along those lines. There's a lot, and we don't know if he was passing that around either, do we yet? And if that happens, because there is a lot of sick things that are happening out there when it comes to young people, some things have to change somehow, some way. So guys, yeah, that would work. That would work. Right? Yeah. Hey, whatever works. I mean, it's disgusting what these people are doing. We've got the Keegan Kleins, we've got the Stephan Sterns, we've got the Bundys. I mean, there's got to be a way to, I don't know, DP. That seems the best for me. Just bye-bye. There's no fixing them, in my personal opinion, right? So guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Like I said, documents can be fairly dry. So I thank you for hanging out with me. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you guys in the next one.